has the power and it is witching hours, so you better off elsewhere tonight. Witch among us, and she must be found before she burns this whole place to the ground. Away, 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 away. Just stay out of the woods, 'cause she's up to no good unless you're prepared for a fight. 'Cause the witch has the power and so you better off elsewhere tonight. Oh, oh,
Here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. Another week, another episode. Welcome back to the Off the Grill podcast. Here we are. It's been a long one. It's been a frustrating one, but we're here. We've made it to the end of Monday. Another Monday. Soon I'll run out of them. Soon. Let's take a look at the chat here. Dan Shine. Shout out to the entire chat. We got Gypsy Warrior. Hey there, ho there. Christian Hanahara in the house. Old Planet CHH says parental advisory. Lauren from Visited by Voices 1 says, I advise parents to just not watch. And that's probably a safe bet. Parents just don't understand. Where are we at? What are we doing? Gypsy says, congrats on Region Free. It was a great show. I'm fucking most certainly not the one to do this, but you're fucking right it was. I hurt myself fucking stressing over that show with how it was going to turn out. I fucking fully planned on falling on my face. You know, like all of that shit had nothing to do with anyone else involved in the endeavor. It's just my pile of shit brain, you know. And just, you know, the part of my brain that does work properly does fucking recognize that, yeah, that's likely to happen to you because you're not very good. But hell yeah, man, I was carried wonderfully, you know. I'm like a bigger hoss wrestler in that way. I ain't gonna do it on my own. But if someone can do a lot of fucking bumping and moving, we could pull something pretty good out. So I gotta give a big shout out to Lauren and Dan and Sam and Mr. Bombastic, old Johnny B. His real last name is Bombastic. Did you know that? Is that everyone? Is that 5 people and me, or is my 4 people and me? Because JT wasn't there. 4 people and me. I know I got 4 names. We're good to go. And of course, you got to thank Christian. That fucking I didn't get to it, but you know what? Let's pull it up now. We'll figure this shit out real quick. I got to show you guys that fucking intro. Christian did an amazing job on the writing. Lauren edited a fucking masterpiece together, as far as I'm concerned. I really just fucking cannot say enough good things about everything with this show so far. And I still don't really feel like, I guess that'll go away in time, but I still don't feel a part of the group, I guess. And it's not, again, it's just fucking, it's too new. You know, why, like, I don't know. It's still a new feeling. I guess, like, a free agent on a fucking football team isn't going to immediately feel like a member of that team. But I'm going to say right off the bat, only 110 subs on the new channel. For shame. I have at least double that on my channel. Not bragging. It's still shit. So there's no fucking reason that this channel doesn't have at least as many as I do. Fix it now. All right, let's pop back in here. Nope. Nope. I wish I knew how long this went. See, if I had done my job, I would have this fucking ready just to run. Oh, god damn it. All right, here we go. Let's watch this.
All right, and we are live.
I love that one. So we all figured they were going to fucking start screaming with you together.
On WTSF.
Not that his out was very much.
Yeah, I know. I've been thinking about it a lot. I just wanted to hear your voice. You know what today is, right? I can't stop thinking about it.
Shut
About what
yours.
happened.
Does
And
it
to his
give
face.
up? Hella.
It was just a prank. What do you mean for that to happen? It's been 5 years.
Damn. Not much. There's a fucking freak. You made me. Oh, that's glad. But all right, we're good. We don't need to watch the whole show again. You know, I mean, you guys should do that after we're done here. Yeah, it's a great show. Good topics, good conversation. The people that were there for the chat were fucking. We're definitely helping. And I know I didn't fucking respond much, but it wasn't really the fucking time or place for me to start shouting about the chat. But I saw Billy. I saw you. Gypsy. I don't remember if I saw you in the chat. I don't know. I don't remember now. I saw some of y'all motherfuckers in there. Big T, I do believe I remember seeing you. Get a star on that. Speaking of Billy, here he is. Says Saucy, get a bullseye tattoo on the back of your head for me to have extra fun, lover. Please. But I'm not tattooing it. But we can get the grease paints out. And just the grease itself. But yeah, get subscribed to Region Free Season 3, people. Right now. Dan says sub now or he will tear your ear off. Get it. Let's fucking go. Oh. Billy says, oh, well, just supporting my life partner. Gypsy says, I said hi at the start. I just wanted to let you guys flow. Chemistry was on point. Okay. That sounds about right because I feel like the flag was there. But I did try to just go fucking full screen for as much as I could. Just to kind of keep the focus where it needed to be. I do tend to wander. I do a pretty good job with the fucking chat on my show, but it's running at half speed from what I saw. Oh, shit. But yeah, I thought that shit fucking went really well. This is going to sound gay. I'm a little proud of myself. I don't know. I feel like most of the time I can hang like that, and then just there are the occasions where I'll just fucking dominate and just be loud and obnoxious, and I hate when other people do that. So, do my best to not do that. I don't know. Dan says you're a terrific Vader-esque big man, and we are happy to be your Sting. I mean, I was thinking more like Diesel and Shawn Michaels, but that's just more my flavor, I guess. But we got a couple of wrestling questions. I think Big T and Dan have thrown some things. Big T, thank you. He says you did an awesome job on Region Free. Appreciate you. Yeah, so Dan's got the link in the chat. If you need to head on over there to check the episode out or sub to the channel, throw a like on the fucking thing. Ha! Dan says, or me or Mick Foley to be more accurate. Yeah, I like that one, though. I'll fucking power bomb you on concrete, baby. Oh, where are we? La-da-da-da-da-da. All right, so we're caught up with the chat here. But, I don't know, before I forget, I do kind of want to talk about it. The fucking... I saw today... Dan says, I pitch a Steak and Ebert segment with ChatGPT taking the place of Ebert. I wonder if something like that will fucking could work or how you'd figure that out. I don't know. I'll have to think about that, Gypsy, and we'll get to that question. But I saw it today on Twitter. And it's just something that has been in the back of my head for the last little while. And I'm sure a lot of people got to this point. Fuck me. And a lot of people, my brain is broken. I've probably reached the point that I'm at now years ago, but I did kind of ignore him for a lot of time just because I've said it multiple times here that nothing that The Rock does in Hollywood really ever interests me. I don't know, he's vaguely God damn it. So I can't read the chat, god damn it. But nothing he does is interesting. It's all just fucking lowest common denominator. Let's make the biggest pile of shit. Let's just make it as loud and dumb as possible. I don't like that. Unfortunately, I don't have any fucking interest in watching cars go fast, then do explosion. It's not for me. That Rampage movie I've heard is pretty good. So maybe eventually I'll get to that one. But Skyscraper, San Andreas, anything with Kevin Hart. All that shit's fucking gay and it can go away. I don't know. I feel like the action movie hasn't gone away, like the older school type buddy comedy action type thing. Like if The Rock was still doing shit like The Rundown, it doesn't have to be Sean William Scott, but that similar kind of one and one, and not do get it. He's little. Oh, the other guy is so big. Because like those were kind of. I mean, for the time, I guess those were paint by the number fucking movies too. So maybe it's just a matter of times changing. I'm getting old. Back in my day, they lit shots correctly in their movies. I don't know shit about lighting. I don't know why I picked that one. I'm sure the lighting in those movies are probably like the best thing about them. All the technical shit is probably through the roof, but where are we at? Dan says Steak pauses mid-sentence to ask Ebert to cover up his fucked up jaw. Dan Shine says Rock has never made a great movie. I like Rampage, San Andreas, Rundown, etc., but most of his filmography is bland. That's probably the most accurate fucking like way to describe it is bland. It's boring. Because the Fast and Furious shit's like hillbilly gay. It's like fucking, that's like deep philosophy to fucking the Appalachians. Most of them, like fucking, and then like Kansas. But and here I can't complete the fucking sentence, so maybe these movies are for me. Maybe that's the piece that I need in my life that'll make my brain work normal. It needs just to sit and look at stuff like that so it can shut off and reboot. But it's all just bland, I guess. It's like let's get the most people in the room we can, get their money off them, and then just get them out the door without causing a fuss. It's kind of like fucking. It's like getting the fat pigs on a cruise. Let's just get them onto the big boat. They'll stop screaming at each other once they can fill their faces with food, and then we can get them drunk. And then hey, the workers that we employ from the islands that we dock on, they can clean the bathrooms. So I guess maybe it's a similar kind of business model. So the more I think about it, maybe it's brilliant. The Rock is the most brilliant man that's ever lived. Gypsy says The Rock is entertaining, but I never got the whole he's the new Arnold thing. I don't think anyone will ever touch Arnie. Just him being in a movie meant you had to see it. Yeah. Unfortunately, like that type of star doesn't really exist. Like The Rock is the next Arnie for as much as there can be a next Arnie or a next Stallone or Gibson or fucking Van Damme. Like none of the expendable fucking dudes basically will be replaced because there's not a place for them. Like their place is in fucking direct to streaming or DVD or whatever the fuck movies now, where they just can do the fucking. Luckily, most of them have kept in good shape so now they can do the fucking Steven Seagal thing where he's just like the baddest man that ever lived in every movie. But they can actually, they don't have to sit down to. I got you. Oh, overhead, got you down. Here we go. Oh, nope, got you there. But usually it's like, oh, good. Next one. Come on. I don't know. Yeah. The Rock also doesn't really have the same caliber of fucking talent that Arnie had to work alongside. Like, tell me fucking Twins works. Like, if that movie were a new concept today, throw The Rock in Arnie's role. Like, because The Rock has comedic timing. He could fucking blow that role away. Who's as funny as and as talented as an actor, just a legitimate actor, as fucking Danny DeVito now? No one really. There's people as talented or more talented. They're not funny. There are people that are funnier. They can't fucking act. So, like, there's not. It doesn't. It seems like with social media and shit, people will fucking put more coals and more fires. Um, but that just means I'm a podcaster, comedian. I sing in a band, yada yada yada. Like all, it's just you're in fucking 5 different worlds instead of working on 5 different things in one world and becoming, multi-talented and less expendable. Yeah. Dan says, I think a new old school action superstar is possible if they'd commit to pushing the right guy. Yeah, maybe. I mean, like, sure, it can happen. And I mean, if you put enough money behind pretty much anything, you can make it fucking at least appear, successful or whatever the fuck. But it's kind of like, it's, I wonder if it's a similar point that I didn't get out on Region Free. But the issue with the movies now, and it's not like, because we were talking about like old and new movies and like old movie fans versus new movie fans. Like they don't like to, old ones don't like to watch the new movies, and new people don't like to watch the old movies, whatever the fuck, you want to call that, but it's just driving me fucking insane. And so, like, I'll say, like, I can watch new movies. I don't really like fucking put up a fight for it, but there is something with it that, and I've never been able to put my finger on it. Like, it's near impossible for me to watch a new movie twice. Like, especially once it's out of the theater. When it's in the theater, it's got soda, popcorn, the fucking, the surround sound, the screen itself. It's got all that shit working for it. So like it's gonna play and gonna be worthwhile regardless of the movie. Most of the time. You try to bring it home, play it on your TV. Even if you have surround sound, whatever the fuck, even if you have a fucking 80-inch screen, you have a projector, so it's a whole wall. Whatever it is. It's not the same. They lack that fucking, and maybe it is as simple as, well, all the old movies were on, or most of them were on film. Everything now is digital. So like you can't, physical media or streaming, that's not what I'm referring to, but you can't feel the movies. You can't reach out and touch them. Where it felt like the older movies, there was some kind of like physicality to them. They seemed full. Like everything's thin and empty now. I guess maybe that's fucking, I don't know. I really don't know what that is, but there was an element of that, well, I'm not one of those, oh no, I couldn't possibly watch a black and white movie, or I couldn't do, I'm not going to watch I just won't watch superhero movies. But so it's a little bit of that, but like I'll watch new horror, I'll watch new action shit if it's good, like whatever. Like The Whale was amazing. That's just a movie. Those are good. But I think in that respect, I do understand kind of the old heads way of thinking. Billy says, I like the rundown, but Stifler made it what it was. Rampage wasn't bad. Skyscraper sucked. His Fast and Furious shit sucked. Well, those all suck. I'm not going to make his fault. I gave Black Adam a shot, and he fucked that too. So did I. I hated that fucking movie. I took my chick and the kid, she had a good enough time. She, like me, she's fucking, all right, popcorn soda, it'll be good enough. We'll get through it. So, the kid liked it enough, but again, he's 8, so it's big screen and it's bright. OJ the Stingray in the house, as I like movies. Jennifer in the chat, 3 gummies. Oh, shit. Dan says, with Marvel on the decline, it's time to push the next Arnold. And yeah, if you're going to do it, this is probably the time. If you're going to do it, at any point from now into the future. This is probably going to be the best shot. Don't let them fucking have a chance to right the ship, please. I'm sick of this shit. Big T says, as far as action movies go, we need Crank 3. Dan says The Rock has never tried to venture outside his comfort zone. So, like, he was sort of doing that at first. Because, like, the Disney shit's not really his comfort zone. Those movies suck. I'm not defending them. It was a fucking, in my opinion, it was a poor career choice. But, you know, whatever. It worked out for him, right? But, like, that Black Adam thing was just he was such a fucking shady snake in the grass about that whole thing. Like, the more I've read about it, like, as fucking sad as the dude that plays Shazam is, like, if you've ever looked at, like, we've talked about it, I think if you look at his Instagram, he's just like fucking constantly, he was hawking that movie because no one went to see it. But, like, The Rock trying to, like, fucking big league DC and like just kind of flex his might to kind of take over that fucking the DC universe or whatever, and that all kind of went to shit, which is cool. It's cool to see because that movie sucked, so fuck him. Yeah, I don't know. Let me just fucking get through the chat before we bring that up. But Big T says that he did the family movie, The Game Plan. It's probably his best for performance. Game Plan. That's one of the Disney ones, I think. That Gridiron Gang one is probably my favorite, like, post Rundown and Walking Tall era Rock movie. That's decent little sports movie, you know. It's nothing too big. It's got fucking it's Kevin Dunn, I think is his name, the actor. He plays John Candy's brother in Only the Lonely. He was in fucking everything, like in the late 80s, early 90s. I don't know, man. Billy says that one he did where he just got out of prison and took revenge on the people that killed his brother was one of his better for just action movie. Was that Faster, the one with Billy Bob Thornton? Because I remember liking that one too. Gypsy says we just need to find the next Austrian bodybuilder, not Australian. Jesus Christ, could you imagine having to deal with that fucking accent? Arnie's unintelligible enough. Yeah, so I think Faster was the one Billy was talking about. It's fine. It's pretty good. I remember it being solid. But Big T says, what about that movie Snitch where he played the father? I don't know about that either. I've heard of all of these, but Gypsy says he was great as the Scorpion King. I fucking liked the Scorpion King. I hated Mummy Returns, and I guess it's fucking being, like, I was the biggest Rock fan on the planet, you know, as far as I was concerned at the time. Like, when that movie came out. So that might be influencing my memory of that. You know, nostalgia bug grabs everyone. Billy says the Scorpion King was just his wrestling character. It really was, and that's kind of why it worked. Dan says he prefers the sequels over the OG Scorpion King. Jennifer likes Walking Tall. Gypsy says film will always be better than digital, and I like digital, but it's just not the same. It's the same way I feel about traditional animation being better than CGI. Yeah. Like, I don't know, like CGI, obviously, like Jurassic Park's a fucking, it's a feat, you know. It's essentially a miracle that movie looks the way it does. But most of the time, that shit was all, it was CGI that mostly augmented the actual practical effects, you know. Whereas, like, Jurassic World is fucking CGI with like one or two dinosaur necks that were real. Like, kind of sucked, and I feel like it's at different points you can feel that it's not really there. Dan says, I like disaster movies, so San Andreas might get the number one spot for me. Big T says, Johnson botched his stint in the DCU big time. He had the potential to do some really awesome things, but his own greed and selfishness got in the way. I don't think it was fucking motive. The dude's got so much money. I have some thoughts about old Dwayne, but I'll say this, that I don't think it was greed or selfishness. It was not I need more. It was at least not monetarily, nothing physical. That was all ego. He wanted to be the guy that fucking saved the DC universe from Marvel. Big shock. Fucking The Rock's got an ego, right? Like, the dude doesn't do anything for money at this point. Which is kind of like my big fucking issue, is that I'm noticing more and more of that fucking creepy billionaire thing that they all do, or like they're clearly supervillains, just kind of waiting for the right time to unveil their fucking impenetrable suit of armor. And they're all just like autistic and fucking oh, I don't shake. But like that all that shit that he does, where he like fucking, I walked into a 7-Eleven that I stole from once, and I bought everyone a candy bar for 6 hours. Okay, well, help them. They don't need a candy bar. Like fucking, and then like once a year he'll give away a fucking truck or something to some dude, which great for the dude by all means, but what the fuck does that do except look at me? I'd almost rather the dude was fucking singing John Lennon songs on Zoom calls, for the last fucking 3 years. This shit's embarrassing because he's becoming less and less human, and it's just like fucking, I laughed today when I saw it. This screenshot. So this fucking Dwayne Johnson tweeted this February 16th of 2022. It was in response to something I didn't feel like it was important enough, but he tweeted, nobody cheated more than us, crying, laughing emoji. Me, hey, Warren, what are you doing here in the D-line meeting? You're on offense. Sap, I've come to take your job. Me, shit, you ain't taking my job. Cut to me watching every game from the sidelines, crying, laughing. Hack and gash for life. And then over a year later, earlier today, 6:02 a.m. Eastern time today, Warren Sapp replies, the job wasn't yours. Caesar was the starter, Miller and Hamlet before him. Sounds good. Hack and gash for life, but I can't get a follow or a call? Which just kind of like, all right, you fucking fake ass motherfucker. And that's the thing I've always fucking said. Like, it's in his shitty fake written by some other motherfucker with a couple people's autobiography he did, like back when WWE had a book deal, when Mick Foley's book was amazing. He even says that he wasn't fucking better than any of the other interior defensive linemen on the team, like in the years since. And maybe it's because like it's kind of wrapped up in Ballers, I guess, where like he was able to kind of like fucking sneak into lying about what he did and what he accomplished. Like he couldn't fucking hack it, and I get Miami was in at one of their fucking heydays in the early 90s, so it was some of the top talent, mostly from Florida, because even in the 90s they were still doing a lot of just fucking local recruiting. Which, watch the fucking those 30 for 30s on the Miami, like it's a 2-part doc. It's like all the different fucking just kind of championship caliber or straight up championship teams of like the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, with the Miami Hurricanes. But yeah, like he's able to just kind of like, enough people stopped giving a shit and forgotten. Like Warren Sapp's been retired for fucking probably 18 years now. It's getting something close to something like that. He's in the Hall of Fame at this point. So, like, that's a whole bygone era of college sports that people don't really talk about that much. And it's like kind of, oh, The Rock was on a football team. He was a real athlete, guys. So I just that shit rubbed me the wrong way, and it's just like we're getting into that era of his public being, I guess. We're gonna like him, I feel like, less and less. And I think a lot of it too is like he's really buying into the fucking hype that he could be president one day. Maybe I'm reading into that too much, but like that fucking, it's just like I despise all of that. Look, I gave these homeless people a light bulb. Aren't I grand? How benevolent am I? But hopefully that shit stops. But he's also the kind of rich where you just have yes men. So who the fuck's gonna tell him? No one's gonna fucking go, listen, brother. I don't know. Where we at? Starting that. Shit. I really did fucking lose that chat. All right. So Billy says, Walking Tall, he had Knoxville to fall back on, and that whole cast was off. I'm guessing it had to be scripted directed because everyone was dry in it. Yeah, it was a little stilted. Like the Rock's family in that movie I recognize them from different shits. Like it's not like that's one time or director's family or some shit like that. But yeah, it was a little like wooden. Well, what's gonna happen? Are they coming for us? The blonde chick was hot in that movie, if I remember correctly. Nothing special. Dan says, be cool early in his career and maybe Pain and Gain. He's no Bruce Willis. Gypsy says, Central Intelligence was fun. No, it wasn't. Orc, what's up, buddy? Big T says, every morning Zach Levi wakes up and punches The Rock's picture. He's still salty. Billy says, Be Cool was his first role, and it looked like he actually tried, but it wasn't great. Yeah, because it's like, I mean, it worked about as well as like him playing that character on SNL would have worked. So like, kind of. Like it's still just, look, he's so big, but he's gay. I don't know, like that's like Young Bucks humor. Now, like if they had him like fucking... you doing more than just wearing like a silly little hat. Like if they had him just like fucking sucking dick behind a dumpster, maybe that would have been funny. Dan Snitch is decent, but again, not a standout. Jay says fast is good. What's up, Brian Trash? Jay said I supported the guy until he was in everything. Dan says Bruce, Arnold, Sly, and even lower level action stars like Dolph or Dudikoff all had some great ones in their filmographies. Dolph Lundgren had great movies like that were his. Like you can't count Rocky IV, even if you think it's a great movie. Billy says, yeah, he seems to slither in everything, then tanks it after he tries to take it over. Big T says Dwayne really has tried to become the poor man's Tyler Perry. Dan says, even I know people don't care enough about the Black Adam character for that to be the new Iron Man launch into a giant connected universe. Yeah, like, I don't know, like, was Iron Man popular before the movies, though? Like, I'd heard of him. I'd seen him in cartoons and shit, but he wasn't, like, a marquee Marvel character. At least to, like, the audience at large. So, I don't know that that has much to do with why Black Adam didn't work. It just didn't work because he's supposed to be he's essentially a bad guy, but also like still, there's the essence of goodness. Like it's supposed to be like a nuanced character that fucking wants to be good, but he's just full of fucking rage and venom. At least that's what it seemed to me. I don't fucking know, but it was just The Rock. It's almost like fucking Vince booked it and he thought Rock was Cena. I was like, you cannot be bad. Go kiss babies. Not with your tongue, son of a bitch. Oh, fuck, thank God I said that. We almost had another scandal. You like that, right, Pat? I told him not with his tongue. Vince loved Pat Patterson, but wouldn't let him speak to him. Something that a lot of people know. Oh, Brian says, I need a candy bar. Well, head to fucking Florida or California or Hawaii, wherever The Rock apparently was just stealing from fucking every business. And then just hope he shows back up to hand out some candy bars. Candy bar. So my girlfriend left a bottle of chocolate milk in her car since Friday. She apparently may have set it in the neighbor's yard because she started gagging at the smell of it. So that'll be fun to see. Don't you like the silence? You really should figure out a way not to do that. But Gypsy says one of the biggest differences is even Arnold's movies that aren't as famous as others are great. I love Raw Deal. Criminally underrated, in my opinion. Kaminsky Stomps is my motivation theme. Big T says, I understand he didn't like the comedic aspect of Shazam, but those two characters are synonymous with each other. It's like taking the Joker away from Batman. All right. Gypsy says, speaking of evil geniuses, did you see U.S. Virgin Islands subpoena for Elon Musk because of Jeffrey Epstein? Oh, won't that be fun? And then he's going to go to jail for, well, he's a billion. Billionaires aren't going to jail. He'll fucking slip out of that. I mean, nothing's going to happen. Like, even if all those names were published tomorrow with fucking just picture after picture of them with their fucking cocks inside 13-year-olds, I shouldn't have done any of that. Nothing will happen. They go, oh, that's bad. You shouldn't. As long as you learned your lesson. All right, take one of them with you. But, that's fucking where we are. It's almost not worth fucking talking about it anymore. Like, honestly, it's just so fucking, nobody's going to give a shit. Gypsy says, Commando just always takes me back to my childhood. That and Predator were always my double bill before bedtime. Oh, Gypsy says it just broke a couple hours ago. So, yeah, we'll see. But I'm also not enthusiastic about anything coming of it. But Jay says he needs a transition and run on the red card. Why don't they run with Caitlyn Jenner, by the way? Speaking of fucking red-carded transitioners. No one was speaking of that because it's not a thing. Jess Graham in the chat. What's up, baby boy? Where was I? Yeah, I don't know. But, like, I don't know. I feel like Caitlyn Jenner would fucking tick off a lot of boxes for them. Like she's Teflon already, so like they're gonna have to like that, right? Like she killed a man or a woman. I think she killed an elderly old woman, and nothing happened. Billy says must have been recent. I have a friend that does little news blurbs on YouTube, and he hasn't said anything yet. Lots of people saying hello. Gypsy says Dolph Lundgren's Punisher is amazing. Okay. Dan says Iron Man was huge, and I'm not well, I don't mean the movie. I know the movie was fucking gigantic. I'm talking about the comic book. Like, the character wasn't big before the movies. I guess if I was unclear about that, I was in no way saying that those fucking movies weren't huge. Been fucking hearing about them nonstop since they started coming out. Big T says Dwayne Johnson allegedly grew up on the Black Adam comic books, and he stated numerous times that he could bring the hero out of him due to the fact that he's originally a villain. Yeah, like Gypsy asks if there's any truth to The Rock being a kidnapper. I would like to find out if Dwayne The Rock Johnson is a kidnapper. It seems that there's more and more whispers of Dwayne The Rock Johnson potentially being involved in human trafficking, allegedly. That's just what I'm hearing, that allegedly Dwayne The Rock Johnson is a kidnapper. Big T says Iron Man is definitely a pillar in Marvel. So again, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not asking about that because I don't care. But Iron Man was not big to the mass audience before those movies. He was a character, and yeah, the fucking people that were buying the magazines every month or whatever the fuck. Yeah, big time. Gotta have it. But I don't know. Dan says, I don't recall their kids praying for a Black Adam movie growing up, but I definitely had convos with comic fans about Iron Man again. So yeah, within the comic book community, big deal. Outside, not. Like Batman was a big deal to people that didn't give a fuck about DC or anything else. Superman, by that point, the same fucking thing. Marvel had what? That were big time crossover, like Hulk, I would say, the Incredible Hulk, the fucking TV show. And I guess maybe that's part of it, because like Superman had a TV show in the 50s, Batman in the 60s, Hulk in the 70s. So like those ones. Spider-Man, did Spider-Man ever have a live action in America? I just don't. I truly don't know. But like Spider-Man would be another big Marvel one. X-Men I would give like early 90s where they blew up. But like fucking Thor and Arrow Boy, we should call him fucking Snowplow Boy now. Whatever fucking Scarlett Johansson is or was, Captain Marvel. Nobody didn't read the fucking shit and wasn't interested in the universe or whatever the fuck. Gave a single fuck or even knew who these things were. You look at superhero. Cool. Is that one of Batman's friends? Great. Like, as a fucking person that's not into comic books at all, the Iron Man movie fucking changed the game. It flipped everything on its fucking head. DC, just by having Batman and Superman, won. In perpetuity as far as pop culture went. Those fucking movies are important to that world for that reason. And I would just like for Marvel to shit the bed because DC couldn't fucking get shit going even with no competition. So, and then we can just be done with this comic book bullshit. And I'll be a happier man. Dean says Red Scorpion Showdown. Oh, yeah, I've heard fucking that movie, Showdown in Little Tokyo. That's got Brandon Lee in it too, right? Right? Yeah. I'd put his direct-to-video run up against Rock. Okay, that's fair enough. Big T says, I sent her an awesome video of Caitlyn Jenner on the golf course getting her balls busted by the group she was with. Pretty funny. Jesse says, Jesse Dubai for president. Oh, he saw her and he didn't send her. Gypsy says, if he is a kidnapper, Pain and Gain watches a lot different. Brian Trash says, The Rock was stealing baby goats? Yeah, Big T says, correct, Steak. Iron Man was always just around the Avengers. Really took a huge backseat to characters like Spider-Man and the X-Men. Thank you. Thank you, Big T. I know I'm not fucking crazy. Dan says, there was a canceled Michael Dudikoff Spider-Man movie that Albert Pyun was going to do for canon. I don't know what, anything you just said means except for canon. Gypsy says, The Amazing Spider-Man with Nicholas Hammond is maybe the greatest live-action superhero show ever, tied with Batman 66 for me. Brian says, Spider-Man was on Electric Company. God, some of you motherfuckers are old. Big T says, in the 90s, the Avengers were pretty obsolete. Children were aware of these characters, especially with the cartoons and figures and play sets. They weren't as big of a focal point. Yeah, like every once in a while, you'd watch the Spider-Man cartoon on Fox and like, oh, Iron Man. Okay. Cool. Shit. I don't know. Something else I saw that I thought was kind of funny. I didn't read a whole lot into it. But widow who wrote grief book after husband died, charged with his murder. This broke last week on the 9th. So that's last Tuesday. A Utah widow who penned a grief book for children in the wake of her husband's death has been charged with his murder, authorities said. Mom of three, Corey Darden Richens, 33 of Summit County, was arrested on Monday for allegedly poisoning her husband, Eric Richens, at their home on Willow Court in Camas on March 4th, 2022. She is charged with first-degree aggravated murder and 3 counts of second-degree possession of controlled substance with intent to distribute, officials said. Police arrived at their home around 3:20 a.m. on the night of Eric's death to find him lying at the foot of the bed. Life-saving measures were attempted, but Eric was declared deceased, according to documents cited by KSL-TV. Corey had allegedly told police she had made her husband a mixed vodka drink, a Moscow Mule, and served it to him in bed to celebrate his sale of a home for her business. She told investigators she then fell asleep with one of their kids who was having a nightmare. She said she woke around 3 a.m. and came back to her in Eric's bedroom. She felt Eric, and he was cold to the touch. That is when the defendant called 911. She told police she left her cell phone in the couple's bedroom, but phone records show that the device had been used multiple times in the child's bedroom. In addition, tolls on the defendant's phone show that messages were sent and received during that time. These messages were deleted, according to court documents. An autopsy found that Eric died of an oral overdose of fentanyl with a level in his system that was 5 times the lethal dosage. Which, like, a lethal dosage is fucking minuscule. Like, it doesn't take a whole lot. But fucking 5 times is crazy, man. According to court documents, police obtained a search warrant for Corey's phone and computers and found multiple communications between her and an unnamed acquaintance, in quotes. On May 2, investigators reportedly interviewed the acquaintance, who faced multiple counts of possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute and other drug-related charges. Corey allegedly requested prescription pain medication for an investor between December 21 and February 22. Investigators were told. She told the acquaintance to leave the pills at a house defendant was flipping in Midway, Utah. Left pills at the house, and the defendant left cash for them. The couple seemingly had issues long before Eric's death. One of his 2 sisters told investigators that he called her from a vacation in Greece with his wife years earlier, claiming that she made him a drink that made him violently ill. That's fun. Ugh, I'm glad he's dead, though. Jesus. He looks like a fucking douchebag. Hopefully she dies before the trial. Dumb bitch. Eric had held a joint life insurance policy with his business partner, Cody Wright. Partner, you fat fucking moron. That his wife had unsuccessfully tried to change in January 22, the outlet reported. Corey allegedly attempted to make herself the sole beneficiary of the policy, but the insurance company notified the men of the change and they were able to fix it. Eric then removed Corey from his will and replaced her with his sister. He did not inform Corey of the change because, according to his sisters, he believed she might kill him for the money, which he wanted to go to his children, the outlet reported. All right, maybe he shouldn't have died. Because not only is that smart, that's incredibly fucking vindictive, and I actually love that. On February 14th, 22, the couple had a Valentine's Day dinner in which Eric became very ill. A probable cause statement cited by KUTV states. Eric broke out in hives, couldn't breathe, and passed out after using his son's EpiPen and taking Benadryl. Eric believed that he had been poisoned. Eric told a friend that he thought his wife was trying to poison him. So I feel like every Unsolved Mysteries episode that was anywhere close to this story, it always is just a bunch of people saying, yeah, he was telling me all the time he thinks his wife's poisoning him. Whoops. The acquaintance told investigators that Corey later said her purported investor wanted, quote, something stronger and asked for some of the Michael Jackson stuff. And that, of course, says here, was young boys' assholes. Not washed. That's disgusting and oddly specific. But anyway, it really says specifically fentanyl, the news outlet reported, citing the documents. On February 26th of 22, the acquaintance got 15 to 30 fentanyl pills from a dealer in Ogden, Utah, and sold them to Corey at her home for $900. A little over a week later, Eric was found dead. The day after his death, Corey ended up closing a $2 million home that she wanted to flip and threw a large party at her home where she was drinking and celebrating. The couple had disagreed about the home because Eric thought it was too expensive. According to the warrant, Corey went on to assault one of Eric's sisters who had shown up at the home during the party. Corey later wrote the picture book, Are You With Me?, to help kids cope with the death of a loved one and appeared on a local TV station to promote it. The book was published March 5th, almost a year to the day after Eric's death. According to the book description on Amazon, it was written to create peace and comfort for children who have lost a loved one. It's to reassure children that although your loved one is not present, their presence always exists, and they walk through life with you as if they were here. In the book, Corey wrote, dedicated to my amazing husband and a wonderful father. According to an obituary, the couple had been married for 9 years and had 3 children. That's fucking crazy. Let's see. Yeah, like that is pretty much fucking tantamount to OJ going, I wrote a book. It's called If I Did It, which I did, allegedly. I'm just saying. I fucking love him. He is like the best follow on Twitter. I'll say that. That fucking site sucks so much dick, but there's nothing social media wise that's anywhere near as good. Not having to think about Facebook's pretty nice, though. I will say that. Shit. Where are we at? Big T says, damn, she did end up killing her husband. Can't wait for that 6-part special on HBO Max. It's going to be fucking interesting. I can't wait for all this shit to come out. I hope the Little Stinkers guys get a hold of it. Hey, Mike Rainey, I know you're not watching, but if some reason you hear this, that would be nice. I got to get to your questions. Let me catch up with the chat and we'll bust these off quick. Billy says she will say he abused her and get off with a temp insanity judgment or something. It's likely. Big T says sometimes when Steak speaks, you can hear that he was raised by Opie and Anthony too. I don't know what I said today, but yeah. Gypsy says, didn't Michael Jackson buy his boys ass rings for taking it up the farter? Don't call it a farter. That's not going to work for me either. What a fucking faggot. Steven Crowder sucks. Big T says Melissa McCarthy or Elizabeth Olsen will be playing her by the end of the year. Melissa McCarthy would have to lose a lot of weight to play this gal. She ain't terribly attractive. She wouldn't be my first choice. Yeah, it's good. Jay says pooper. It's better, but don't say that either. Jessica, what's up? I want to show you guys this first, real quick, and then we'll get to the questions. What is happening?
Help! Help me! Please help me!
It's not your bike.
Please help me!
It's not your bike.
Please help me! Help! Please get off me!
Hey, what the fuck is going on, bro?
Please get off me!
Yo, don't not take it, bro.
Now you're not getting the bike, bro.
Hey, now you're not getting the bike, bro.
Help!
You're not getting
Get
the
off me,
I'm
dude.
not. No,
Why you took his phone? What's wrong with you?
Stupid as something. You're
Don't
not
touch
touching
his
my
phone.
phone.
Do not touch his phone.
I'm not touching you. You put your stomach on
Man,
my
I'm
hand.
not
No, dude, stop. No, no. I said no. I said sit down.
Please.
She's just crying.
You're not crying. You're not crying. I got
Stupid.
you.
you dropped your tomato.
Wait, you pulled it out? Hassan, you pulled it out? Hassan,
I don't give a fuck.
Hassan, you pulled it out?
This is my bike. It's on my account. Please move.
All right, so why don't we reset the bike?
I'm not resetting the bike.
It's his. It's his. It's his.
Reset it. I'm gonna pull it out of your account.
You are active.
I don't give a fuck.
This is my fake crying. This is fake crying. Stop fake crying.
Hey, stop touching me. I don't touch you.
Hold up.
Hey, stop touching me. Stop touching me. Stop touching me.
I will.
Exactly. So take it.
Notice
So take
the-
it.
her surroundings, though, is-
Stupid ass. Get the fuck out of here. Dumbass. Your baby gonna come out with
Wait, how you stop
They
crying?
will not.
Not a tear came down, miss.
Yes, or no.
Not a tear came down.
But I think there's a fucking longer video that I couldn't find again that shows more of her just not being upset about it and just like unfucking real, man. Just not crying. Help! Imagine if they were fucking like there would be 2, 3, 4 fucking black dudes just dead if there were police in the area. I believe that wholeheartedly. That's fucking shitty. White women suck. Like, no offense for like the 2 of you that maybe watch this at any point, but get your girls because they're fucking up. Gypsy says, do your wifely duties, Hillary. Take that dog medicine at 8 months pregnant and shove it up my dog's asshole, you bitch. What a fuck face. That might be the angriest I've ever fucking seen Gypsy. Boss queen. Chase says white privilege. Like, that's a pretty good example of what white privilege actually is, to be totally honest with you. Like, to fucking just, oh, no. My bike, Negro. My bike, N-word. But yeah, Big T says, aren't those things all around the city? Yeah, pretty much any city, too. So I don't know why. Like, maybe that was the only one that was on the fucking, the I don't know, fucking charge rack or whatever the fuck that's called. Billy said, that's why I married a Spanish broad. She's just psycho to me. So fuck, that's a good move. They are fucking wacky, but they will keep that at bay until, you know, they find a reason for it. Real quick, want to thank all my lovely patrons: Christian Hannah Horror, Nick Ridza, Jay the Stingray, Dan Shine, Lauren Dixon, Mr. Bombastic, RetroCac, The Daily Ghost, Brian Trash, Ben Grimm, Jennifer Lynn, Slaughter Porton. Hey, isn't that Devon Graham? I appreciate y'all. Head over at patreon.com/offthegrill-podcast. As soon as I'm done here, I'll be heading over there. We'll do some more time, have some more fun. You guys should join us. Ben and Brian will tell you because they catch it live most weeks that Ben's not here tonight. I haven't seen Ben at all. Holy shit. But they'll tell you it gets pretty randy, and usually I'm not alone. So for those of you that like that sort of thing, might be the place to go. As well for you folks that are watching now that are patrons already, as well as for anyone that signs up. The poll for the May Watch Along is up and ready. Head on over. Please vote. We got American Gothic from 88, Friday the 13th, Part 7 from 88, Killer Clowns from Outer Space from 88, and Wrong Turn from 2003. And I know I've jotted a couple different titles down that the patrons have suggested. I know I saw Demon Knight from Ben Grimm, and then Brian had another good one. Oh, Night of the Living Dead 90. So those will make the poll at some point this year. I don't know if I want to fucking make those words and things. If I want to make those, like, wait until the month that they came out at least, or just throw them up immediately and see if they make it through. But I'll figure that out eventually. Before I leave, let me get through these questions. Dan asks, who, in your opinion, was the most underrated wrestler of all time? Who should have gone further in the business? Underrated of all time. That's hard. It's hard to fucking really come up with someone. Like, I saw some earlier answers to this one, and like Shelton Benjamin, Mr. Kennedy's the one that came to mind initially. They definitely, like, those are two that definitely should have gone further in the business. I don't know that off the top of my head I could fucking give you an all-timer. Rob Van Dam might be one, and he would also fit the second part of that question. I don't know. That's something to fucking. Maybe we'll get into that a little heavier on the Patreon. But Big T asks, my thoughts on Randy Orton, the possibility of him having to announce his retirement. My thoughts on that whole situation are, if what I've read is correct, that rumor has come from nobody but Bob Orton Jr., who is, of a time period and just noted within folks from that time period as being just a carny fuck. So he may have heard that at some point. He may have made it up out of whole cloth. There's no telling if there's any real truth to it. If there is, that sucks. It sucks a lot because I was fucking really liking. Orton was making Matt Riddle entertaining for me. So, like, that would suck if none of that got to be paid off, because I was kind of hoping and expecting that team at some point to break up, and having Riddle and Orton. I would love Riddle to snap and kind of fucking take up that mantle of he's Rob Van Dam light, but he can he is the whatever, the Randy Orton mental illness from 2009. He just fucking goes from, hey, all right, to I'll fucking break your neck, and then he. It's just a real good bump, quick, keep him up. He's got shit to do. But so if none of that's gonna get to happen now anyway. So it's, even at this point, it probably is just a what could have been kind of thing. But it will suck if he didn't get to go out on his own. Maybe he can fucking rehab enough to maybe get carried through something decent to at least just go out, win, lose, or draw one more time. But I don't know. Big T says, do you think that due to the fact Johnson looks so inhumane compared to even Stallone and Schwarzenegger that the audience can't resonate with him? Maybe. But I mean, I don't think he's a freak and he's just fucking large, but again, like Schwarzenegger's fucking odd looking. Brock Lesnar in 2002 is odd looking. I don't think that plays into shit. Like, if you were a freak and dismembered, I would probably agree with you, but I don't know. As it stands now, probably not. Gypsy asks what my favorite Kevin Smith movie is. Without having rewatched Clerks 3, I will pretty quickly say Clerks 2. I am pretty excited. I saw on Twitter that it looks like they've hammered out a deal for Harvey Weinstein to relinquish, I guess, any fucking rights to Dogma finally, so that can be put out in like Blu-ray, 4K, or whatever the fuck. So that'll be cool. And we're going to get out on this one. Gypsy asked my thoughts on swinging. And hey, I like my balls to dangle as much as the next man, especially if I'm a nice gal. I like a nice pair of swinging clackers. But I'm going to leave. Catch me over on the Patreon. Check out Region Free. We'll see you next week. Iris loves you.